Imagine being left in the dust by a car that looks like your grandma's grocery getter. Welcome to the world of sleeper cars, where unassuming exteriors hide serious power. In this video, we'll count down the top sleeper cars of the 1980s, from sedans to wagons, and even a minivan. Get ready to be surprised. So what happens when you take a classic American sedan and give it a V8 engine? 1984 Chevy Caprice, the unassuming powerhouse. At first glance, the '84 Caprice looked like a taxi or a police cruiser. It had the classic boxy styling of the era, nothing flashy, but under the hood, you could get a 5.8-liter V8 engine, producing 150 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque. This made the Caprice an unexpected street sleeper, capable of surprising anyone who underestimated its potential. With a little tuning, this car could easily dominate the streets. The Caprice was a favorite among law enforcement agencies, but it was also a popular choice among car enthusiasts who wanted a powerful and reliable ride. On to our next one. You might think this plain Jane sedan is just a family car, but wait until you see what's under this hood. 1989 Ford Fairmont, the secret drag strip weapon. The Ford Fairmont was about as plain a car as you could get in the late 80s. A boring four-door sedan that no one would look twice at other than for a grocery getter. But here's the thing, it shared a platform with the Fox body Mustang. This meant you could easily swap in a 5.0-liter V8, producing 225 horsepower and 300 foot-pound of torque. Once with this upgrade might have looked like a standard Fairmont, but could easily keep up with high-end European sports cars. So if you wanted a daily driver that could blend in while still having serious speed, the Fairmont was the way to go. Our next one takes us across the pond. Get ready for this. 1985 TVR Tasmin 280i, the rare British beast. This rare British sports car might look like a toy, but it packs a punch that will leave you breathless. Here's why. The reason this little British sports car packs a punch is its 2.8-liter Ford Cologne V6 engine, producing 160 horsepower and 160 foot-pound of torque. With only 1,167 units produced, the TVR Tasmin was a rare find, and its performance capabilities made it an absolute rocket on the road. That might not seem like much today, but in the 80s, it was enough to make this car a highly sought-after collector's item. The Tasmin largely flew under the radar, but those who knew. The Tasmin was a great choice for those who wanted a car that was both exotic and exclusive. Coming back to Americano, let's take a look at what Oldsmobile has for us. 1980 Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais 442, the forgotten muscle car. By the early 80s, muscle car and muscle car culture was on life support, but Oldsmobile still had a few tricks up its sleeve. The 1980 Cutlass Calais was a rare beast. Only 886 units were made. It featured a 4-barrel carbureted 5.7-liter V8 engine, producing 180 horsepower and 240 foot-pound of torque. This car looked like any other Cutlass, but it was one of the most unassuming muscle cars of the decade. And today, finding one is nearly impossible, making it one of the most sought-after sleeper cars of the era. They say luxury and performance don't always go hand in hand, but this silent powerhouse is an exception. Let's see why. 1987 Bentley, a luxurious sleeper. When you think of Bentley, you think of luxury, not performance. But in 1987, Bentley decided to surprise everyone with a high-performance model that packed serious speed. The 6.75-liter turbocharged V8 engine produced 300 horsepower and 400 pounds of torque, making this an absolute monster in disguise. The Bentley could keep up with some of the fastest cars of the time, all while looking like an elegant cruiser, and driving just as nicely. Let's switch gears. Who says station wagons are boring? This Volvo will change your mind. 1986 Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon, grocery getter gone wild. A Volvo station wagon? A sleeper car? Absolutely. The 86 Volvo Turbo Wagon had a turbocharged 2.3-liter inline-4 engine, producing 160 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. It was boxy, it was practical, and it could absolutely shock unsuspecting sports car owners. This was the family car that packed enough power to leave challengers in disbelief. Oh, but if you thought this was the only sleeper that Volvo had, think again. 1985 Volvo 240 Turbo, the brick that could fly. Picture a car that's as solid as a rock, as dependable as a Swiss watch, and as fast as a Scandinavian bullet train. Sounds kinda like an oxymoron, don't it? But the '85 Volvo 240 Turbo is the real deal, a brick-shaped sedan that defies convention and redefines the meaning of sleeper. The Volvo 240 was known for being one of the safest, most durable cars ever made, but the turbo version? That was something else entirely. With a turbocharged 2.1-liter engine producing 160 horsepower and 170 foot-pound of torque, this brick-shaped sedan could move. Volvo even took it racing, proving that this car wasn't just safe, it was fast. Ah, but what's that? It looks like Ford has something for us too. 1989 Ford Taurus SHO, the ultimate sleeper sedan. Imagine a car that's as stealthy as a ninja, as quick as a cheetah, and as unexpected as a surprise party. Meet the '89 Ford Taurus, the ultimate sleeper sedan that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family cars. By 1989, the Taurus was one of the most common cars on the American road. But the SHO, super high output model? That was a whole different story. Under the hood was a Yamaha 3.0-liter V6, producing 220 horsepower and 200 foot-pound of torque. This car looked like a standard Taurus, but easily kept up with high-end European sports cars. So if you were looking for a surprisingly speedy grocery getter, the Ford Taurus SHO was the way to go. And now, the moment we've been waiting for. The most insane sleeper. A van? 1988 Dodge Caravan Turbo, the most unexpected sleeper ever. Folks, drumroll please. The ultimate sleeper of the 1980s, the Dodge Caravan Turbo. Yeah, you heard that right, a minivan. In 1988, Dodge offered a turbocharged 2.5-liter inline-4 engine, producing 150 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. That might not sound all that impressive compared to some of the other sleepers on this list, but for a lightweight front-wheel drive minivan, that is enough to turn it into a true sleeper. Try to imagine pulling up to a muscle car at a stoplight, only for your mom's minivan to leave it in the dust. The 80s were filled with cars that looked unremarkable but packed serious power. Whether it was a luxury Bentley, a turbocharged Volvo, or even a minivan, these cars redefined what it meant to be a sleeper. They proved you didn't need a flashy exterior to have a great driving experience, and that sometimes the most unexpected cars can be the most exciting. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden automotive gems. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.